Okay.
Hi, my name is Liz Foster. I started to consider myself the wheelchair poet of the Rural Cafe. I'm the only one who regularly comes here and reads poetry. I'm going to start with a poem that caused my doctor to tell me, you need to publish. Whirlpool. Floating on my ramshackle raft, circling the edge of turbulence, where thoughts not understood, incompatible feelings, nameless emotions, join and concatenate into a swirling wall of knives, shards of shattered dreams, splinters of fear and pain, the ever-present emptiness merge into a chaotic gray nightmare leading into the black depths of nothingness. The pole is an irresistible force, tearing away at the integrity of the fragile vessel on which I ride. Powerless and numb, I watch as the angry current starts to pull and force me into the encompassing spiral. I stand at a window, outside and inside myself, watching the maelstrom grow and strengthen, watching myself being drawn deeper into the maw of the terrible giant growing in my mind. I have neither paddle nor oar, no pole and no motor, and no sea anchor to slow or resist the downward flow. To reach the black depth is to lose all of reality, to give up the self to the incomprehensible flood of hate and fear and loss and longing. The only escape is to climb the gray wall, grasping the knives and the shards and the splinters while my being is disintegrating, claimed by the chaos. I will reach the mouth of the bloody and torn, a moment of respite, and then I find myself floating on my ramshackle raft. All creatures. It's a glorious world that has Andostoma mexicanum, Rhacodactylus auriculatus, Ornithorhynchus amatinus, Trichechus inunguus, Tachyfugu rubrices, Ziphiae de gladius, pristis pristis. To gaze on these creatures, the axolotl, the gargoyle gecko, the platypus, the manatee, the fugu, the swordfish and the sawfish, is to gain a greater appreciation of the whims of nature and the gaiety of God. Escape. It saw Cujo, Carrie, Christine, Firestarter, Silent Hill, Halloween, Pet Sematary, Amityville Horror, Nightmare on Elm Street. I immersed myself in the fantasy horror world, tied from this real horror world, and my impending breakdown. Reality is the worst nightmare of all. Memory. I remember my father desperately trying to remember a word, only to have to use the words it meant because the word was lost. I remember the day that he went into work and he was stopped at the security station. Dementia. His clearance had been revoked. I remember the day that he went on sick leave. Sick leave that lasted for over 1 year, and then he retired on disability. I remember that night when we waited while search and rescue combed the canyon, looking for his body when he had gotten lost. I remember the day when I had to close the store to go meet him in the emergency room after the second time search and rescue was called. I remember him sitting on the stool in my store, waiting for the end of the business day, and he didn't know where he was. I remember visiting him in the nursing home just a few weeks after they accepted him, and Allison had become the mother of my children. I remember the confusion in his eyes when we came to visit him, and he did not know who I was. Early onset, atypical Alzheimer's. He was in his 50s when it started, and its progress was painfully slow. I remember my father, but with all the things I remember him forgetting, I don't remember when he forgot himself. In memoriam, your children, your grandchildren, maybe even you, dying horribly, every last one. It's almost too late to save them. It's probably too late to save them. On the other hand, maybe it's time that we let the cockroaches win. With what we've done, the tornadoes, the hurricanes, the deadly heat, the extreme cold, the rains and flood, the killing drought, the rising oceans, the dying food, the dying planet. Does our race really deserve to survive? We are the cancer. We are the killer virus. We are the plague. Do all, kill all. Rest in peace, Mother Earth. Burn in hell, Homo sapiens. Cast out the light. Turn out the light and close your eyes. You still see the light. In the darkest midnight, close your eyes. You still see the light. Cast out the light. Cast out the light of your eyes. Cast out the light of your heart, and cast out the light of your mind. Deep underground, through the twisted passages of a miles-long cave, in the stone-cold room with no sound. In the oppressive dark, your mind folds in. In the dampness and cold, your heart light dims. Even your breathing slows to no sound. And now you have cast out the light. Embrace it. Become the darkness. Absorb the quiet, damp, cold. Bring it into your heart. You are alone. You are more alone than you have ever been. Enfolded in darkness, trapped in silence, you have entered my mind. It's not my whole mind. No, you cannot reach it from here. All that you have really found is that dark place where I have lived too long. This is the place where I shelter when the winds of the world blow too strong. This is the source of the flashes of blackness that temper my dreams at night. This is the place of my silent screams, the room where black blood flows ever down the walls, the tomb in which my dead childhood lies buried and forgotten. Though unseen, there are doors that lead nowhere. There are windows that open only into no light. You can feel the troughs worn in the floor by the endless treading of my unseen feet. This is the place where I lie dead, where the world has slain me again and again. And if you shuffle around following the path, you will trip and stumble over my corpses. This is not your place. Go back to your world of light and sound. Go back to your pleasant life and leave me here in my home. As you can tell, since I was reading from a book, I have a book of poetry and I have a few copies for sale over there.
Great. So we're going to switch from open mic to Andrew Kassoff. We're going to do a quick setup here, so if you want to stick around, please do. And thanks for coming out.